We are here with national champion and Olympian Aleah Finnegan. Aleah, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So tell me just the whirlwind of emotions you've been feeling since you guys won the national championship.
Absolutely. I think we've just been so overwhelmed with the amount of love and support that we've received since we got back, and we're just so thankful. You know, we had our parade and we had the moment in the PMAC, and so just to be able to, you know, share this championship with the city, you know, with the state, like we're representing everybody when we go out there. So we're really just blessed and thankful for, you know, the support that we have here.
And you guys made history by winning the program's first ever national title, but you yourself are also making history, being the first Filipino gymnast to represent the Philippines in the Olympics. Just tell me a little bit about how much of an honor that is to you.
Yeah, so the last female gymnast was actually 1962. So it's been a very long time since then, but I'm just so honored to be able to represent the Philippines, especially in women's sports and especially in gymnastics, because I want to be able to share the love that I have for this sport, you know, with young girls in the Philippines. And so it's such an honor to be able to represent, you know, my heritage and my culture, and you represent my mom and, you know, my grandma and all the sacrifices that they've made for me. And I'm really excited. It's coming up quick. I think last I heard it was like 80-something days, and so we're counting it down, but we're really thankful and I'm really excited.
So if I remember correctly, you tried to make the U.S. team for the Tokyo Olympics. That just didn't work out and you quit elite gymnastics. You retired, you wanted to focus on LSU. So what was the difference maker that made you want to go back to elite and try again? Absolutely.
So when my mom first kind of presented this opportunity to me, I really wasn't sure if I wanted to do that, if that was something that I wanted, you know, the door that I wanted to open up again. And the more she talked to me about it, the more I realized how good of an opportunity it was. It was almost too good to pass up, to be able to represent the Philippines, to be able to, you know, give back to my mom in the sense that, you know, she's made so many sacrifices to me. And, you know, in the moment, it was really just like a one-time competition, and then I was just gonna, okay, that was fine, and I was gonna come back to LSU and still compete for the season. And I think that's really was my mindset until, you know, following my sophomore year when I decided to another opportunity. And I think that's when it started to get pretty real for me that, like, you can really, you know, take this as far as you want it to. You know, Garrett, our assistant coach, always says, like, it's your boat, you drive it, you know, and I love the freedom and the opportunity to be able to kind of make this my own versus, you know, kind of more rigorous system that I went through in the past.
And when you were competing for a spot in the Olympic Games in those international competitions, how special was it to have Garrett there with you the whole way?
Yeah, he's been so awesome through just everything. You know, there's a lot of unknown when you go to international competitions, and especially for the first time for a different country and something that you're not used to. And so he's just been, you know, such a rock through this entire process, and then coming back to LSU and then going back internationally. Like, there's a lot of differences in, you know, the competition and in the sport. And so he's just been an absolute rock, and I'm so thankful for him and his support and all of the coaches' support for allowing me to continue this dream even while I'm here.
And how has the Philippines just really embraced you as a representative for them on the world stage?
I'm really thankful that I was even an option for them to call my mom up on the phone. They've been in contact with our family, and so I'm really thankful that they still decided to reach out even though it had been so long since they last talked to our family. And so it's honestly, I'm so thankful that, you know, they're willing, although I do live in the States and, you know, I don't live in the Philippines, I'm really honored that they're still embracing and allowing me the opportunity to compete for them.
And I understand your sister Hannah competed for the Philippines in the Southeast Asia Games?
Yes, correct. Back in 2011. Yes.
So has she given you any words of encouragement or advice or just leading up to the Olympic Games?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool thing that we get to share, we get to talk about. She's a little bit older than I am, and so it's just, you know, a fun thing that, oh yeah, like I did that too. So it's definitely something special that we get to share and kind of have a understanding about what those competitions look like.
Is there any kind of like sibling rivalry with you and your sisters? I mean, I know Sarah competed here and you won a national championship, and then Hannah competed for Philippines and you're going to the Olympics. Any kind of like
No, not at all, not at all. They are so supportive, and they are, you know, they love the fact that I'm going after my dreams. And even though it's like typically like an uncharacteristic like route, I guess you would say, they have nothing but support, and they're all retired from gymnastics, so I'm the only one still doing gymnastics, and they have been so supportive of this entire process.
So let's dive into a little bit more about the differences between NCAA and Olympic gymnastics. Since this journey kind of began for you, even for the last Olympics, what are the major differences you've seen with how NCAA is versus, you know, the Olympics?
Yeah, I think the main difference between the two types of gymnastics is really like the skill level. There's a lot of like very almost like silly, like nitpicky rules that they have in terms of like your choreography or in terms of, you know, what requirements you have to have in your routine. So that's the biggest thing that I really try to focus on, is like making sure that I have all of those requirements just in case, because it is very different. And so I'm thankful for, you know, the coaches and my coaches back home in Missouri. We're all kind of, you know, together in this as we try to navigate the differences. And even just competition level is a lot different. It's a lot easier when you have 19, 20 girls around you and we're all going after the same thing. It's a little bit harder when you're by yourself typically and you're competing for this, and there's not really a whole lot of people around you. And obviously my girls have been, you know, nothing short of supportive during this whole process, but at the end of the day, they're not in the arena with me, and although they're still supporting, I think just the main difference is you don't really have that community around you in person.
And is the margin of error a little bit, you know, wider? You know, I know perfection is like a big thing in NCAA gymnastics. Is the margin of error a little bit wider because the skill level is higher?
Absolutely it is. I think whenever you come to college gymnastics, the main focus is all of those details in terms of, you know, striving for perfection. And I think in elite gymnastics, it's a little bit more like the bigger skills that you can do, like what your start value could be. And you have a little bit more room to work with because your level of difficulty goes up.
And just tell me, just what's your overall goal about going to the Olympics this year in Paris?
I think my goal for, you know, this year's Olympics is to really just let everything out there. Like I don't have to qualify for anything. Like there's nothing less after this. And so I just want to lay everything out on the floor, you know, give it my best shot, and then we'll go from there.
And the training, you don't really get much time off after, you know, NCAA season ends. What's just the training schedule like leading up to the Olympics?
Yeah, so I took last week off, and this week I'm just kind of, you know, taking it really slow. But training looks like nothing too crazy. Like I feel like I'm at the age where, you know, I don't have to be in the gym for like so many hours. Like I can keep it slow, I can keep it simple, and the beauty of it is that I kind of create my own training schedule, and so I'm able to have that liberty of, you know, I'm not feeling this event that day, so I can do it tomorrow. And so having that liberty is definitely very helpful in terms of, you know, my body and how we want to navigate this thing.
Since you were trying to qualify for Tokyo and didn't get there, what did you learn from that experience that better prepared you for this year?
Yeah, I think the way that everything has played out, I honestly wouldn't have had it go any other way. Like I've learned so much for competing on Team USA. I've learned so much being here, and you know, this opportunity as well. Like I think each time I go out there, I learn something new about myself, and it shapes me more in terms of, you know, my competition mindset and the way that I go about things.
And then being at LSU, just what has being a college gymnast taught you that's gonna, you know, prepare you for that next level on the world stage?
Yeah, so I've actually been getting a lot of questions about like what preparation looks like, and the truth is, this entire season has been preparation. How lucky am I that I get to compete every single Friday in front of thousands of fans in sometimes rigorous environments. And so each time, like that's a practice for, you know, a larger stage. And so each of those times, a lot of gymnasts, they don't get that opportunity. And so I'm really thankful that I have that competition experience, you know, kind of in my back pocket. So I'm able to kind of just go out there with a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, we saw some college gymnasts take some time off from competing this year to focus on preparing for the Olympics. What went behind your decision to compete this year instead of taking a gap year?
Yeah, I knew that kind of taking a gap year was never really something that I was interested, just because, like I said, like this is training. Like this is my, you know, long hours. This is my competition experience. And so I didn't really see the benefit in not having the experience that I have being on LSU's team.
And then just this year specifically, all the highs and lows that you guys went through as a team, and then coming out on top, winning the national championship, just how did this year shape you into who you're going to be when you walk into Paris?
I think this year has been nothing short of incredible, and it wasn't easy by any means, and you know, there was a lot of hard days, there was a lot of, you know, tough practices, but ultimately I think those shape us for who we were out there on Saturday night, you know, when we won the national championship. And so I'm really just honored to be a part of something, you know, so historical and so memorable for all of the years to come, and we're representing not only this team but also in the teams in the past too, and so I'm really just grateful that I got to be a part of all of it.
Are there any Olympic gymnasts or just Olympians in general that you've grown up watching, looking up to, and aspired to, be like when you were younger?
Yeah, I would say I was a big fan of watching the Olympics when I was younger, and obviously my sister was a part of an alternate team in 2012. And so I would definitely say Allie Raisman, and it's funny, I was just talking to her the other weekend, and so it's crazy how things like that work, but just her determination, I watched her go through 2012 and then watched her again in 2016, and her determination of never giving up is definitely something that really inspired me to, if it doesn't happen then, you can keep trying. You don't have to just, oh, well, that's it, and then, kind of leave that door shut. And so I think she's an incredible athlete and also an incredible person, and so I'm really grateful that now that I also got to meet her.
What are you most excited for about just Paris in general, being in the Olympic Village and kind of taking in, your time there, other than competing?
I'm really just so excited to soak it all in. I have been wanting to go to the Olympics since 5 years old or maybe even younger, and I'm thankful that I got the opportunity to actually go in person in 2012 and then again in 2016, and so being able to not just be in the stands but be there in person, I'm really excited to just soak in the behind the scenes, the other athletes. These are the top athletes in the world, and they're just standing right next to me, and so maybe there's be a little bit of fangirling going on, but I'm really just excited to soak it all in.
Do you think some people here might just fangirl over you when they see you?
No, I don't think so. I'm a personal person, I like to think.
So you won a national championship in college. Just what would it mean to you to just even medal?
I don't even know if I would have the words to explain that, and obviously that is a goal of mine since I'm there. Why not dream big? Why not go for it? And so it would just mean the world to me and my family in the Philippines, and I just want to give it my best shot.
So I know your guys' routines in college gymnastics is the same routines every week. How much different are your routines heading into the Olympics compared to what you normally do?
Yeah, so I think I actually just talked to Garrett, our assistant coach. We're going to try to sit down and kind of navigate what skills are going to give me the highest value, and I'm going to change my floor routine, so I have something new for this summer, which I'm really excited about, and really just see what works. And maybe if something doesn't work, then we have the opportunity to switch it up a bit. And so I think just having the variety of skills and hopefully try to knock the rust off of some of them, and I want to be able to put together, my best foot forward.
All right, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Aleah Finnegan is headed to the Paris Olympics to represent the Philippines.